Your ass is next.
You know, this revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word, right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
You can kill all the black folks you want, baby. But you will not kill the freedom of black folks. It's coming. We're going to get it. We fought every one of your damn lousy wars, lady, and you give us nothing. Now, the war is going to be here, but we're going to be free. Now, you kill you want to, but we kill too.
In my mind.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Let me go ahead and pipe that down just a little bit. I could see that I was hot coming in early. Appreciate anybody that's going to check out the stream today on the Villager on Deck channel. I know I still got some stragglers over there on the Freedman Media channel. I ain't shut it down yet because I ain't locked the videos down, but I appreciate anybody that is going to check this out on the Villager on Deck channel. If you have not subscribed to the Villager on Deck channel, what y'all doing? I done told you every single stream since the Villager on Deck channel has been up. What y'all doing? How come y'all not subscribe to that channel? I think there's like 40 subscribers over there. Now my subscribers are starting to go up on the Freedman Media channel, but we're not going to live there no more. We dwell in there, but we're not going to live there. And I know a lot of people going to check this out on Facebook. Well, a few people going to check it out on Facebook. Let me not get arrogant. Let me not get arrogant. I ain't going to get arrogant because I know a lot of people never look at these videos. Well, they do eventually, but you know, live and playback, it takes a while. Appreciate you, sis. Appreciate you. We soldiers in the struggle. We soldiers in the struggle, you know, and I'm only bringing attention to any of this because it needs to have attention brought to it. So shout out to you, Jordan Ellis, and all that you do in Washtenaw County, specifically for the Ann Arbor Public School kids and families out here. I appreciate you being aboard early because we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it real quick here. Let me go ahead and come up and just say hello because I might go backwards in just a minute. But this is the Villager on Deck. Everybody knows who I am if you're looking at this. If not, I'm Shannon, you know, but I go by the Villager because that's just what I do out here. And I want to talk about some things today in my village, the Washtenaw County Village. Started out with that thumbnail showing the whole school map in Washtenaw County. You know, your Ann Arbors, your Ypsi, your Chelsea, your Manchester, your Milan, Saline, Whitmore Lake, Dexter, you know, everybody, right? But we're going to specifically be on Ann Arbor Public Schools today, strictly because the Ann Arbor Public School system where I went is no longer. It's been revamped, you know, it's been changed around, turned upside down, and now they look like they're about to get rid of the superintendent of the school system. So where they'll go from that point, I don't know. But she's been trying to get up out the paint for years. She got here back, 10 years ago, and she done had about 17 job interviews. It seems like she's always looking to get out of here. Ever since she got here, she was looking to get out of here. And this is what I say about people that come to Washtenaw County. They come to Washtenaw County, they get their bones right, then they go somewhere else. There's something about coming to Washtenaw County, whether it be Ann Arbor or Ypsi or any of the other surrounding territories. You come to Washtenaw County and that shines your resume up. And once people come here, it's like they don't want to stay here. So crazy because then people move here from other territories. They don't want to leave here. So why do we get people that come here for the jobs, but then they get their resume shined up and then they want to try to go get a job somewhere else? Well, now Swift is free to go get a job anywhere else that she wants to do because she done took Ann Arbor Public School system from a 10 to a 0 in my book. Now, I know that there was some issues when she came in and she put some programs in play, and she's got a lot of people still riding for her, but they're riding for a corporate reason. They're definitely not riding from the student reason. And I'm riding for people from the student side. So you're rarely going to see me side with the suits. Okay. If I side with the suits, it's probably because I'm with the suits. So I'm going to work with the suits, but I'm always going to be for the people. So when I talk about the student side, I don't think a lot of people have really understood where our students and their education has gone collectively in Ann Arbor Public Schools, and the way I feel, probably around the area. I don't think every area has it as bad as Ann Arbor because every area is not as diverse. And I don't really like using that word a lot of times, but they don't have as many black kids. Let me just be who I am. Most of these outside areas don't have as many black kids in their schools, so you don't see the variance in the statistics. If it's a predominantly white school, you don't even really hear about the statistics. I'm working on getting some testing results from the outlying cities like your Dexters and your Chelseas and even your Salines and your Whitmore Lakes, because I want to see how their kids are testing like our kids are testing in Ann Arbor, like our kids are testing in Ypsilanti. Because if they're struggling out there too, then we really got a problem in Washtenaw. But right now we want to talk about Ann Arbor because Ann Arbor is where it's at. And when I bring this thumbnail back up, you know, we bring this thumbnail back up and that top right picture, that is the outgoing superintendent, you know, Janice Swift. And she hasn't acted swiftly for the students at all. Not in my estimation. Not in my estimation. The way I see, I believe that Janice Swift has been slow to respond, slow to act, and really slow to produce positive results for our students. We've got right now about 1 out of every 2 students that can't read, write, or count adequately in the city. Ann Arbor Public Schools specifically. Now, you got to know, if 1 out of 2 kids are not testing out adequately, that means it's not just Black kids. It's not just Latino kids. It's not just kids of color. It's some white kids in there. And I'm not sure exactly why we haven't seen as many white parents come forward and talk about this, but maybe they will now that there's been the shakeup at the top. You know, when there's a shakeup at the top, it's always a situation where people come out of the woodwork. And we need people to come out of the woodwork like termites on this, because Janice Swift has done a lot of damage in the city, in the Ann Arbor Public School. And here's the thing. I believe because we have so many kids that now come in from other areas, she's allowed that. We've had the open borders. Let me just put it out there like this. We've had the open borders into Ann Arbor Public Schools, kids coming in from as far as Inkster. I was just told that a kid comes to school in Ann Arbor, more than one from Inkster. So all the school districts from Inkster to Ann Arbor, and we got kids coming from Inkster to Ann Arbor. So there's got to be a problem there that there's not a closer school. I mean, how early does that student have to get up to get to Ann Arbor Public Schools on time if they live in Inkster? And if you're talking about Inkster's culture and you're talking about Ann Arbor's culture, are they the same culture? Hell no. So you got that kid at a double disadvantage. They're coming out here from Inkster to dwell in Ann Arbor. And we already know Ann Arbor, what it's always looked at, even though I don't believe it's as sedity as people try to make it, you know. But if you got a kid who's coming out here where they're thinking that even the Black kids are sedity or uppity or highfalutin or whatever you want to call it, and you know where the white kids are because they got money. Most of the white kids in Ann Arbor Public Schools got money. So when you know they're coming from Inkster, and I'm not saying that there's some people ain't doing some things out in Inkster, but we know if a kid is being driven from Inkster to Ann Arbor Public Schools, chances are they don't have the money for private school or even to go another direction with their education. So they're coming out of here out of necessity. So we want to talk about those things. But what I really want to talk about is really what's been happening around the world, because we can get the pathways. You know, we can get the pathways. We're going to get the pathways. We're going to talk about that, talk about the school district, some things that are happening around our village that are a little bit extended. You know, shout out to everybody. And I feel for these folks because I come from the radio background. So shout out to everybody that had produced, hosted, whatever, worked at 910 AM Superstation. You know, I did some interviews on the station, really tried to actually put in work. Kevin Adele was an asshole back then when he first started, and I never went back. I only went back as a guest on some people's shows. We were trying to get the thing with cannabis legalized and whatnot. So we did some work there, and it was good work. You know, it was fruitful work. But this individual puts out an email. He doesn't himself. I think he had one of his lackeys put out the email. Let me bring that up. 910 AM, a news talk station, and was really a news talk station for the people. Now, I'm understanding that it wasn't that great of a station monetary wise. But as far as getting the truth out about politics, about education, about things that were going on around the metro area, it was the best source. Now, the reason they probably didn't get off the ground as far as financially, because he didn't put that sales staff together. I mean, radio, people think that when people play records, they make money. Or when it's a talk format, they make money for talking. No, you make money off of advertising. And advertising was probably not at an optimal level, and that's why he flipped the format. You know, when you fall outside of the top 30 stations in the marketplace, you're pretty much not doing anything on the revenue side. So I get it. So it says, thank you for your time and your contributions. WFDF 910 AM Superstation. We wish you the best of luck. We are doing a format change, and this is not generally how it happens. So this was crazier. This is cold. This is a cold ass pimp move here. Your show will no longer air on WFDF 910 AM Superstation. So this was given to everybody that was currently, well, I guess past tense, was currently hosting a show. I mean, he's letting them know by email. He didn't call anybody. He didn't have that many people to call. And I don't know how he got away with this without some broken glass around that place. But anyways, it says, we are doing a format change. Your show will no longer air on WFDF 910 AM Superstation. All access passes have been revoked and you are no longer allowed on the premises. The guard has been notified not to give you entry. And this is who it was from. Kevin Coles, 910 AM station manager, Word Master Control Operations Manager. So he runs the Word Network and the WFDF's frequency too for the radio. So this was the thing. There's classless acts and there's classless acts. And this is part of my title. I know you don't think it's part of the title because I'm going to be talking about schools, but when I talk about being schooled or being educated, this is part of the thing. This is one of our elders out here, one of our great elders who actually was a former host at 910 said, if you don't own it, you just own it. And that's real. Elder Sam Riddle said that. He said, if you don't own it, you just own it. And I revere that brother for his fight that he's been out here fighting for all these years. Much respect to that brother, and much respect to brother Malik Shabazz as he makes his way back to these streets, getting some things done with his ticker, and he's going to make it back 100%. I have no doubt. So much respect and love to brother Malik Shabazz. But to the elder Sam Riddle, he said, if you don't own it, you're just on it. And I have nothing but respect for him. And anybody that was running a show on that station, hopefully you find your way. Hopefully you get something, maybe even with an online frequency, come on this cyberspace, and do your thing, because you can be seen and heard all over the planet versus just that 910 AM frequency, which really wasn't heard from that far from the station. I mean, I know he had a big antenna, but really think about it. Who's really listening to terrestrial radio anymore? If people were picking up that station, they were generally picking it up online. So because he's decided to kill that frequency and kill that format, let's kill the whole thing off altogether. I think he's supposed to be starting some sports format or whatever. It don't even matter. He ain't gonna be able to get off the ground with no sports format either, because he'll probably get everybody piped in from around the country. And Detroit people want Detroit sports. Michigan sports people want Michigan sports. So that's going to fall flat too. Hopefully he sells it, puts it in the hands of somebody that's going to be able to do something right with it. So with that being said, we don't really need to talk anymore about him, Kevin Coles, Kevin Adele, anybody at 910 AM. I just have much respect for everybody that held a space on there, and for them to get this cold ass pimp email talking about they can't even hit the premises no more. And the guard has been notified. What, you got the guard out there with a shotgun? If anybody comes through the gate, what they gonna do? You got the walking boss out there, Kevin? I mean, how dare you put people on guard like that? What if people got personal items still in the station? Or maybe they were told, get all your belongings after your air shift. You can't leave nothing here. I don't know how it was working around there, but it sounds plantation-like. You are no longer allowed on the premises, and the guard has been notified not to give you entry. Sounds like a plantation to me. I don't know. But want to send out rest and powers to anybody that had any direct access, direct contact, direct relationship to this brother, because he put so many people in the paint. The godfather of black music, really the godfather of blackdom, because Clarence Avant was a broker for so many people out here. I wish I could have just shook his hand and had a conversation with the brother, but I was never able to. I know we were in some of the same locations when he had made it out this way, but I never was able to really ever get close to him. He just had so much stuff. I just wanted to just be able to drip some of that ism on me, because the way I looked at him, he was just a flat out deal maker. And he made sure that people got their just due in the industry. And people really don't understand. If you ain't seen the Godfather, the Black Godfather, you need to check that out, because it really lays out who he was in music, in entertainment, and really, like I said, in just blackdom. In Black America, Clarence Avant was it, and will always be it until somebody replaces him. But I don't think we're ever going to have another brother like that. He got up out of here. I think he's 92. He was 92 years old. So he finally got up out of here. His wife met a crazy demise. The house got broken into and she got murdered and whatnot. So, he was able to hang on for a little bit, but now he's going to go ahead and rejoin Mrs. Avant, and they can live happily ever after in the hereafter. So, shout out to that brother, and rest in power, Elder Avant. What else we got on tap? I had this post up yesterday, man. These are three cats that I still revere as the GOATs. You know, I mean, everybody knows my love for Biggie Smalls. I thought Biggie Smalls was a great artist. I thought Tupac Shakur was a great artist. He's a thespian, you know, great actor, entertainer. But these, to me, are people that I listened to all my life. I've been listening to Antonio Hardy and O'Shea Jackson and Carlton Ridnour all my life. All my life. You know, everybody knows him as Big Daddy Kane, Ice Cube, and Chuck D. But I like their government names. I like their government names because they've really handled their business throughout. And you got to handle your business as your government name. You can't just handle your business as your stage name. Your stage name is your character. That's what you perform as. But they've been businessmen, and they've been entrepreneurs out here to a degree where a lot of people just never made it. And when you talk about they celebrating this 50 years of hip hop, which I'm not celebrating. If I'm going to celebrate anything, I'm going to celebrate who helped make hip hop way longer than 50 years, though. 50 years is just too short. And the way I see it, hip hop was not born anyway. It wasn't born 50 years ago. It just germinated from soul music, R&B, classical, jazz, blues, everything, you know, and it became the format that it is. And it's the most renowned format in the world now. Anybody that's making music now throws a little hip hop in their music. I don't care whatever type of popular music you make. Country artists rapping in their songs now. You know, pop artists, they got rap in their songs now. Everybody hits that with because everybody really wants to be a rapper anyway. Something about being a rapper. So somebody takes a little bit of something in every one of their albums. Can't nobody out here say that they're not influenced by hip hop. So when they say the hip hop is 50 years old, I call bullshit, but I don't really, you know, dwell on it or anything like that. It is what it is. They're going to say what they're going to say because they're marketing hip hop now. They're marketing the 50 years. They're making money off of it being 50 years old. But hip hop is way older than 50 years because it's not something that was born in 73. It's something that germinated, you know, maybe in the late 60s, early 70s. But hell, we showed people back in the day, they was rapping in the 50s. James Brown was rapping in the 60s. So hip hop didn't happen in 73. And they needed to stop there with the Hurt. Hurt didn't create hip hop. He didn't do anything. He did not create hip hop. And when they create these lies like this, what they do is they end up letting people like this maneuver. They end up letting people like this maneuver. And where I see Gordo Jose is where I see him. This is what they laud as an ambassador of hip hop now. And I'm not saying that he hasn't done anything for the genre, but for him to be lauded as like one of the emperors of hip hop now is just pure lunacy. It's flat out lunacy. Okay. So I'm not sure exactly what you got in there in the chat, John Henry, but one love, what you got, what you put in there. Maybe somebody can check that out. You know, you can state what that is and they can check that out. But yeah, when people like Fat Joe, Gordo Jose, as I call him, are lauded as emperors of hip hop, you know, but then they come out looking like this, you know, and I'm not saying nothing about him being fat because, hey, I'm fat. It don't matter about that. But this is what he thinks is the culture. This is what he thinks. Early rap from the 40s. There you go. There you go. You know it. I mean, we've been doing this stuff for so long that they just like to try to bottle it up and say, oh, it started 50 years ago. Oh, it started 40 years ago. Yep. That's it. The Jubilaires. I mean, rapping and scatting and all that stuff, man, that stuff happened 70, 80 years ago. This ain't no 50-year-old format. People don't really understand where we at with this thing. And that's okay. That's okay. Because anybody that's down with that 50-year nonsense, let them ride with it. I'm going to let them ride with it. But it's not for me because I know that rap came along well before 1973 or whoever Kool Herc was, is, or is going to be. So it is what it is. Let me see what I got. One more thing. I think maybe I got two more things I need to put up before we really dig into this situation. Something that I hate. Let me go with the hate first, and then I'll go with the love. This is something that I hate. And speaking of hate, I have a real problem. I got a lot of problems. Y'all know this. I got a lot of problems. But I got a real problem when I see mothers and fathers doing this with their children, making it seem as if they're oppositional. They're not on the same team. Even if it's just a joking thing. Even if it's something that they think that is cute. You know, I hate him, I hate her, and they got the baby with a shirt on, but they do it for me. What they do for you, baby? They hate each other because you don't know no better. You settle down. You don't know no better. They made you wear that shirt. If you knew better, you wouldn't have even worn that shirt. But they do it for me. Why would you want to even pose like this? Why would you even want to send this message out like this? Why would you even want to create this narrative like this? But I see it all across my social media timelines. Mothers and fathers hating each other, thinking they raising their kids. But if you hate him and he hates her, what do you think the kid is feeling? Because the kid is tied to both of you. And if you both feel that way about each other, or if they even just hear it in jest, what do you think they taking? Now this post was actually an old post, but somebody just reposted it recently. So I just ended up clipping it this time and said I'd talk about it on the stream. I think probably the last time I saw it, I wasn't in the studio doing stuff. I was probably in the car, still doing a lot of the videos in the car. But I had the opportunity to bring this up, and this is just nasty to me. It's nasty. It's hateful. I don't like the narrative that it creates. Okay, and I can say I didn't have the best relationships with my daughter's mothers, but we would have never done no dumb shit like this. Let me just say, ethically and morally, we would have never done this. We wouldn't have even joked about this, because you know what type of dynamic that creates with the kid. You saying you hate him and that's her daddy. He's saying that he hates you and that's the mama. That's where she came from. What are you saying to the child? What type of division are you causing in the child? And that's nuts to me. That's flat out nuts to me. What's also nuts to me is I didn't put a bed in. I should have put a bed in. Let me go ahead and get that in as we get ready to jump into the Ann Arbor Public School System shit. Because it's deep. It's real deep. But before we do that, let me go from the hating into the love. All right? Let me go from the hating to the love, because I love this. This is a post that I saw. Man. It was a brother sitting in a restaurant. I believe it was a Mexican restaurant. He was sitting in a restaurant trying to eat his food, you know, really trying to just have a meal by himself, you know. And it looks like it was during the peak of COVID. He had his mask on and whatnot. And they said the little boy came up and sat with him. Now, little boy is a little Caucasian boy. And he came and sat with him and just started asking him questions. And obviously, the little boy got what he wanted because he never left. He sat there and asked questions, and the brother answered questions, and they had a time. The brother ate his food. I think they ended up bringing some of the kids' food over, and he just talked to him. And this is what I try to tell people. You know, hate does not start here. Hate starts from creating negative narratives, whether it be a white child, whether it be an Asian child, whether it be a Latino child, whether it be an Arabic child, a Middle Eastern child, a Hindu child, Native American child, whether it be a black child. Hate does not start. It does not start when they're that size. That narrative has to be created with them. That narrative's got to be put into them for them to learn how to hate. And this boy, obviously, he don't see color. He don't see size. He just saw somebody that looked like they'd be friendly enough to sit there and have a conversation with. And he got a whole family behind him sitting at another table. But for some reason, he chose this man. And this brother literally sat there and talked to him and answered all his questions and probably asked a few of his own. So when I think of kids that do stuff like this, and this is crazy because I'm not saying I had an exact situation like this, but you know, y'all who know me, the people who really know me, y'all know me. I had a couple years, it was kind of in exile. You know, I was driving cabs and driving my DTS as a car for people to go to the airport. And, you know, I had kind of a black car service going on the side. And I would have to eat a lot of my meals outside the area or even in the area by myself. I wasn't locking up with nobody because I was coming out of a bad relationship, a bad marriage, disengaged from my kids, didn't know nobody, you know, so I was really out there by myself. So I ate a lot of meals in restaurants like this, cafes, diners, and things like that by myself. You know, I didn't call nobody and be like, hey, man, let's go break bread. No, because I needed that time to really get Shannon back. After I had been torn down so bad, coming out of a bad situation, I wanted to get me back. And that's where I really developed who One Man Shan was, because I knew I could manifest out here as a one-man band, and my name is Shannon, so I just put them together, One Man Shan. That's all it was. But this brother right here, I've got to give him his credit. I don't know his name, but I got to give him his credit for being able to sit there and deal with this youngin'. While I know all he did was came there to eat his food and get up out the paint. But he sat there, they said he sat there and he talked to the youngin', and the youngin' had questions for him, and they went back and forth. And that's where we need to be as people on all levels. That's the patient we need to have with people on all levels. But when we're talking about children, y'all know my soft spot for kids. My soft spot for kids, I don't never turn a kid away. Kid asking a question, I'm going to try to give them the best answer I can. And if I don't know the answer, I'm going to find that answer for that kid. Because a kid, if they ask you the question, the thing that they deserve the most is an adequate answer. So it is what it is. Let me go in and get this bed. I don't think that bed locked in on the loop. So let me go ahead and start it up again. But yeah, we back here, man. We back here. And I really want to talk about this situation going on in Washtenaw County. In Washtenaw County, we've got some issues, man. We've got some issues, you know, and where I've been on this path to pathways, I've seen so much happen over the last several months, and once I heard about the dean or the principal, whatever his title may be, once I heard about him giving all this scholarship money away at the graduation, you know, talking big about what they had done with the students over at Pathways, I had to dig a little bit deeper, because all I heard was flat out plight over there. I heard about young girls being accosted in the restrooms, you know, having their doors kicked in when they was trying to go to the restroom, having their friends have to lean up against the door. So they automatically having their privacy invaded because you got somebody inside your bathroom stall to have to put their body weight on the door so nobody kicks the door in, so some boy don't come in there doing something illicit to them. And this is happening at Pathways. We've talked about this months ago. You know, we talked about this months ago. I put Shanu McCoo and Michael Brown and all they colleagues and church fam, because that's who they work with. They work with their church family. They got 8-9 people up in Pathways that all go to the same New Apostolic Grace Temple Tabernacle First Missionary Baptist Church together. And that's bullshit. I ain't never seen a school have so many people that go to the same church. Ain't never seen it. And I'm not sure how it's even lasted. Who's doing the checks and balances over at Pathways? Well, I guess if you put people in play to do the checks and balances and you doing the hiring, y'all just gonna all end up together. So y'all together 6 days a week. You together at work and you together on Sunday. They probably get together on Saturday and do some church events. So they together all the time. And maybe that's why they was using the daycare like it was their daycare. You got the employees using a daycare when the daycare was built for pregnant mothers or young fathers to come to school and make sure they didn't miss out on their education. But you had the employees up there using the daycare as their own. I wonder what kind of money they was putting in the till. Were they using the daycare for free, or were they actually paying to use the daycare? Either way, I think it's out of pocket. You shouldn't be bringing your kids as an administrator, as a superior, to have somebody look after your kids. Your kids can go to a daycare that you can afford to pay. Hell, New Apostolic, whatever their name is, they got a daycare. How come they wasn't taking their kids to the church daycare? Why were they bringing them to the school daycare? Still ain't nobody answered that question yet. But it's okay. We here. We still here. And we gonna be here. Because as Swift gets ready to be ousted, as she continues to pack her boxes over the next several weeks, Pathways is still going to be here. Kids that are going to Pathways are still going to be here. Kids that have graduated from Pathways in these most recent years that could not read, write, and count to their capabilities of a 12th grader, because they graduating as 12th graders. When you get a diploma, you're supposed to have mastered the K through 12 program, or you shouldn't leave the school. I've got on record that there's many kids that have left Pathways over the last 36 months that can't read past the 4th grade reading level. 4th grade reading level. How is that possible, y'all? How is that possible? How do you get out of school? How do you get out of school and you can't read? How do they give you a diploma that you can't read? And that's what's happening in Pathways. He talking about all this scholarship money they're giving kids that graduate. What they gonna use it for? Bail money? Because they can't use it to get into college. They can't pass the entrance exam. Show me one of these kids that y'all pushing through school that's gonna go to a higher level of education. No, I don't think so. So that money is gonna be squandered or passed on to the next student that probably can't get into the school because ain't nobody checking and ain't nobody balancing McCool's work. Ain't nobody doing nothing over at Pathways but collecting checks. But they want to make it seem like they're doing stuff. And I know Swift, that's Swift's boy. McCool is Swift's boy. I absolutely know this. She loves her some Shanu McCool. She love her some Shanu McCool. And I know they like to get over there talking all that. Yeah, I'm from the North. I'm from Arrowwood. Look, first and foremost, y'all ain't from the North no more. Y'all, I'm not even from the North side, and I'm revoking your North card. Because if you was from the North, then you would think about the old school North. Because the old school North held people up and held people down. What y'all doing is closing people out. So all y'all that's from the North side is working over at Pathways. I know you're listening. I know you're listening. You might not listen to the live. You might not dip into the live because you don't want to be exposed. I get it. But y'all listening to these playbacks, I know you are. Trust me, I know you are. But yeah, they over there doing damage. They finally got locks on the bathroom doors after months of complaining. Months. And it was crazy to me that it even took a day. If there's no lock on the door, why wouldn't you allow the janitor or whoever's gonna come in, a locksmith, to put locks on the doors? You got females in here trying to use the bathroom with 1 foot on the floor, 1 foot on the door, or having to have a friend in there. Or how about a kid that's a trans kid and they asking to go to the bathroom, and then you got somebody telling them that they can't use a certain bathroom because that's not their birth sex. But they're a trans kid and they identify as a trans kid. And Ann Arbor Public Schools is supposed to be trans friendly. But you got some religified person in there telling them no because they're not that based on the sex that they were born with. And I don't care what your ideologies are. I don't care what your beliefs are. If you work in the Ann Arbor Public School system, you abide by the Ann Arbor Public School laws. And it's supposed to be a trans-friendly community. But if it's a trans-friendly community and you now making people feel bad about being who they are and they are trans, you need to be ousted too. You putting your religious beliefs in front of your paycheck. That means your paycheck needs to go. Go be religious somewhere else. I'm not saying anybody don't have a right to be religious. Everybody has a right to be religious. Everybody has a right to believe what they want to believe. But if that's what you believe, you're not for the Ann Arbor Public School system, because that's what the Ann Arbor Public School system believes. And Swift let this happen on her watch. And McCool let this happen on his watch. And Brown let this happen on his watch. Absolutely. And anybody else they go to church with, work with, and do whatever they do with. They let this happen. They let these kids be marginalized and brutalized by other so-called educators. And ain't nobody saying nothing. That's not gonna happen here. That's why I continue to talk about it. That's why I continue to shed light on it. That's why I'm gonna continue to go to these meetings. Because you really can't do everything online. I learned that. You really can't you really got to actually sit in the meetings. You got to sit in the meetings and hear really what's being said. And I'm really, really sorry that I missed the meeting last week, but we had a family situation. I wasn't able to get there. But they say they got another school board meeting coming up in a couple weeks, and I'll be there. Maybe it's not even a couple weeks now. Maybe it's like a week from now. I'll be there. Because y'all being told a bunch of lies. Y'all being told a bunch, and whoever's caping for Swift, y'all clown ass motherfuckers, y'all days are numbered too. Y'all out here caping for somebody. It ain't nothing like seeing motherfuckers grab onto a sinking ship. Swift is the Titanic. So whoever wants to grab on to Swift right now, please hold on tight. I need everybody that's supporting Swift to hold on tight. I need to see you go down with Swift. I need to see you sink with Swift. I absolutely want to see that. I absolutely need to see that. hang on to Swift, because she gonna be up out of the paint. She ain't looking for no jobs now, huh? No, she too busy trying to figure out her payout. She packing boxes now. Steady throwing shade on people, but she packing boxes now. So she needs to get up out the paint. And anybody that's holding on, caping for, they need to get up out the paint too, because y'all gonna be revealed too. Y'all gotta stay. Swift going somewhere, but y'all gotta stay. What y'all gonna do when Swift gone? What y'all gonna do when Swift gone? I tell you, y'all some clowns for this though. Y'all some real clowns for this. So that's really what I got to say right now. Would you say Tammy? She do kind of look like Tammy Faye Baker, don't she? She do kind of look like Tammy Faye Baker. She do. She got that empathetic look on her face. Oh, that's why I got her looking down at the Pathways logo. Oh, yeah. You ain't did shit, Tammy Faye Swift. You ain't did nothing but cause havoc over there. You got these kids reading at such a low level. I don't even understand how they could have graduation ceremonies at this point. Just hand the diplomas out to the ones who need them and move on. What y'all doing having a whole ceremony? Only because it's clout. They want to make it look like they did something. This is the same principle that said, my enrollment is up. My enrollment is up. Do we really want your enrollment to be up, bruh? You're an alternative school that specializes in kids coming over with behavioral and academic problems. Do we really want your enrollment to be up? Shouldn't we be getting your enrollment down, controlling your enrollment, getting these kids U-turn back into the traditional schools? Oh no, we shouldn't, because that's not what y'all do around here. I already told you, Pathways is the last step. It's the Pathways to prison pipeline. And for some of these kids, unfortunately, it's been the pathways to the cemetery pipeline. It's not pathways to prison for some. It's been pathways to the morgue for others. So many people connected to murders this summer have come through the walls and doors of Pathways. Y'all don't think there's a direct connection there? Anybody putting this together? But I guess you won't. Because don't nobody want to talk up on that. Don't nobody really want to talk about the real. When you got one incident where 5 lives are directly affected through shootings, murders, and life-changing injuries, and they all were Pathway students, that's saying something. That's absolutely saying something. Then you go ahead and combine another murder. Now you got 7 lives, all from Pathways, directly affected by murder. You don't think maybe if those kids had a better opportunity at Pathways or in the Ann Arbor public school system itself, that maybe they wouldn't have ended up on the wrong side of the law or the wrong side of a toe tag, because that's what's happening out here. And I ain't got no flex with that, because we could do better. We've done better. But now what y'all doing, y'all just collecting them checks. Y'all just smiling for the cameras. All up in the videos. But not on my watch. Not on my watch. And I know a lot of people, they into the recidivism thing. We're gonna keep these kids from committing these crimes over and over. We want to make sure that they no. That's not where we at with it. It's not about recidivism. It's about never, ever committing the crime itself. Never, ever crossing that line. Why we got to cross that line? For have somebody to help us so we don't cross it again. But see, when you got educated minds thinking that way and not thinking about recidivism, because a lot of people, they think about recidivism because that's all they know. Maybe they did 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years in the joint. I get it. That's all they know. Well, I didn't do no years in the joint, so this is all I know. This is all I know. Keep your ass out of trouble, and we ain't got to worry about keeping your ass out of trouble. So we're going to keep shedding light on it. We're going to keep shedding a lot of light on it. And all the players involved, because it's not just about Pathways. It's not just about Pathways. Let me look at something here. I brought something up, man. Worked some stats a couple days ago. This is craziness out here, man. This is crazy. Where'd I got that? Hold on one quick second. Where's my Yeah, so I was doing some stats. And for black kids in the Ann Arbor public school system, this is the black kids. Grades 1 through 5. Grade 1, 42.9%. 42.9%. So almost 43% of the black kids in Ann Arbor public schools, grade 1. This is first grade. They just learning how to read. Reading at a 43%. So basically, damn near 6 out of 10 kids cannot read adequately in Ann Arbor public schools. By the time they get to grade 5, they're down to 30%. 32%. So now you got 7 out of 10 black kids not reading at an adequate level. 7 out of 10 black. First you had 6 at grade 1. Now we got 7. How did we get worse as they got older? But it gets better. From grade 5 to grade 6, we lose another 10%. We go from 32% to 22%. So now you got 8 out of 10 black kids not reading adequately. And then when they get to 8th grade, then we get them back up to 25%, 24.8%. That means 7 kids out of 10 are not reading adequately in Ann Arbor public schools at grade 8. 8th graders, we about to go into high school, and you've only got 25% of the kids, 24.8% reading adequately. Now let's go to math, because it gets to the point where some people are gonna cry on the math stats. From grade 1, you've got 39.8% of the kids that are doing math adequately, almost 40%. At grade 5, 20%, 20.4%. That means 8 out of 10 kids cannot count, cannot do mathematics at grade 5 in Ann Arbor public schools. But Swift did a great job, huh? Swift did an admirable job, huh? She turned Ann Arbor public schools around, huh? I heard somebody said Brian Johnson said she saved Ann Arbor public schools. Negro, please. They literally said that. They literally said that Brian Johnson said that Swift changed Ann Arbor public schools to the point where she saved Ann Arbor public schools. Are you crazy, bruh? Are you crazy? How did that happen? How did that even come out of your mouth? How did she save anything? And do you think all these well-to-do Caucasian individuals would have allowed Ann Arbor public schools to fail? Black kids are not. Kids of color are not. People of color are not. White folks ain't gonna let Ann Arbor public schools fail. I only know one white person that's gonna let Ann Arbor public schools fail. And that's the one that's looking at that Pathways logo. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Looks like somebody's willing to go on record for that. Brian Johnson said she saved the schools and brought the money back. What money left? She brought the money back? Really?
Did you say nigga?
What money did she bring back? When did the bread leave Ann Arbor? If she brought the money back, how come it's not going to the programs? How come we got kids reading at a 24% level at 5th grade? I'm sorry, at 8th grade. By grade 5, 8 out of 10 kids counting adequately. But let's go to grades 6 through 8. What you say there? He tried to explain how city taxes are paid and what we don't get. Why he trying to talk politics to y'all? Why ain't he talking from a black father's perspective? Talking to black mothers Why are you trying to talk politics to y'all? Don't nobody give a fuck about how the city taxes are paid. Don't nobody give a fuck about what y'all don't get. We got kids out here not reading and counting at record low levels. She also brought the young fives. Who's that? Is that like the Jackson Five? What is that? What is that? Because that was his way of explaining how she brought the money back. Okay, got it. I got it. So it's more about the cash and not the kids. The way I see Brian Johnson, the way, BJ, we gonna call him. Let's call him BJ. The way BJ sees it, it's about the cash, not the kids. I get it. And that's the way most corporate Negroes think. That's the way most corporate Negroes think. I get it. He said over the last 10 years, she saved us. Well, she only been here 10 years. She got here in 13. She only been here 10 years. And now her reign is over. So what did we do for her? We must have saved her because she tried to go get a job in several places and they didn't want her. So we must have saved her too. I guess one hand washed the other. Now we washing her away. Goodbye, Janice. But grades 6 through 8 for Black kids doing math in Ann Arbor public schools. Grade 6 went from 20.4 for fifth graders down to 15.5%. 15.5%. That means 85% of the kids in grade 6 can't do math adequately. Black kids in Ann Arbor public schools, Pathways, and everybody else. By grade 8, they get a shot in the arm. And they move all the way up to 16.8%. They go from 15.5% to 16.8%. She saved us, BJ. She saved us, bruh. You out here doing yeoman's work caping for Swift, bro. Hold on to that raft tight. Hold on to that Swift, the SS Swift. Hold on to it tight, BJ. Because the parents is coming. The parents is coming. And the politics are not going to save you. Now, I know everybody's always thinking, he always talking about black kids. He always talking about black kids. It's black, blackity, black. But no, we're not going to go there. We're not going to stay there. Let's talk about some kids that are not black. Let's talk about some kids that are in the school district that are being brought into the school district damn near on a daily basis now. And let's see how they're faring in the Ann Arbor public school system. Hispanic kids, or as people call them, Latino. Yeah, I know about the shift she made at Mitchell. I know all too well about the shift she made at Mitchell, bringing in the IB programs over at Mitchell and Scarlett, and didn't have no educators on deck to be able to teach it. First year school teachers learning a school curriculum that they never learned in college. Yeah, we know about the shift and we know about the shit, and I'm with it. So talking about other kids, let's be real. The Latino kids, grades 1 through 5 in reading. Let's stay here with it. 1 through 4, they don't even register. NA, not applicable, not available. Grades 1 through 4. These are the actual test results for reading statistics in Ann Arbor public schools for Hispanic kids, Spanish-speaking kids, Latino, whatever y'all call them. But grade 5, 13.3%. They went from not applicable, not available, non-existent to 13.3%. Still almost 9 out of 10 Spanish-speaking students not being able to read adequately, as per the test. As per the test. But I tell you, when you go from grade 5, grade 6, you should smell something. Oh yeah, you should smell something. And not what I'm about to light up, but you should smell something else. You should smell the books being cooked. From grades 5, 13.3%, to grade 6, it goes up to 28.9%. 16% increase over one grade. How, Sway? How? 9 out of 10 kids damn near not reading, but then you bolster all the way up to basically 7 out of 10 kids. How? I mean, these aren't earth-shattering statistics, but somebody's cooking the books. Somebody's making it look better than it is. And don't we have enough of that around the county? Don't we have enough of making it look good, but not really be good? Making it feel good, but not really be good? Making it sound good, but not really be good? These are the Latino kids. These are the kids whose people are here, some illegally, that are in the Ann Arbor public school system in this sanctuary-like territory. We're not a sanctuary city, so we have to say we're sanctuary-like, because we act as if we are a sanctuary city, even though we're really not. And I couldn't care less whether we are or not. But since the kid's gonna be here, let's teach them something, shall we? They should be learning adequately. But why aren't they? And why are they going through grades 1 through 4 without registering statistically? What are y'all doing? Just feeding them and housing them? Grades 1 through 4, just feeding them and housing them? Glorified babysitters. Are y'all babysitting, or are they detention camps for the day? Because y'all ain't teaching them nothing. And then we go from 28.9% in 6th grade all the way up to 36.5% in 8th grade. Because you know what happens next? They go to high school. So now you got to show more kids are reading more adequately. So you trying to tell me in 3 years, they went from 13% to 36.5%. I smell something, and it ain't this. I smell bullshit. Oh yeah, I smell bullshit. Can we go to the math? Can we go to the math with the Latino kids, with the Spanish-speaking kids? Grades 1 through 5, once again, 1 through 4, not applicable, not available, non-existent, 0.0 percentage points. Get to grade 5, once again, 13%. Almost 9 out of 10 kids. Almost 9 out of 10 kids up here not being able to do the fizzle. They not being able to do the fizzle. And we talking about counting now. Unos, dos, tres, cuatro. You go from 13% in grade 5 to 23% in grade 6. How, Sway? How y'all raising 10 percentage points? They were literally non-existent 2 years ago. Now you up where you saying, oh, only 8 out of 10 can't count. Only 8 out of 10. Ocho. And then we get to grade 8. 28.3. They boost 5 percentage points from 23%, 23.1 to be exact, to 28.3. How y'all doing that shit? I need to know. We need to bring the elder in here. Can we bring the elder in here? Yeah, let's bring him in. The ancestral elder, the great Dick Gregory. The elder Gregory's got questions too. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And what I learned was that the groups that they don't classify as either Black or Latino, Hispanic, or whatever, they seem to be succeeding a little bit better. Not all of them, but they hitting right around that 70%. So you still got 3 out of 10. You still got 3 out of 10 Caucasians individuals that ain't reading, writing, and counting adequately. How y'all letting that happen? How they slipping through the cracks? Are y'all saying that 7 out of 10 is good enough for Ann Arbor Public Schools now? 7 out of 10 is good, 70% is good. I guess it is until you bring in that 30, 40%, that 20, 30%, because that's what brings the kids down. That's what brings those percentage points down to 50%. And when I started this, I told you 1 out of 2. And what is 1 out of 2? 50%. I know some people gonna say, well, it don't work like that, Shannon. Oh, yes, it does. Because you take the good and the bad and you get the ugly. That's what it is. And nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to be about that. But you got BJ out here saying, Dr. Swift saved Ann Arbor Public Schools. The fuck out of here, bruh. And I'll say it to his face. I don't give a fuck. I ain't scared of nothing but my grandkids. That's why I'm grandpa. So I need all the parents to start getting out to these meetings, school board meetings, PTO meetings, PTSO meetings. Make sure y'all asses be at these parent-teacher conferences, capsule nights, curriculum nights, any type of night. I need to see Black parents there. I need to see Latino parents there. I need to see every parent there. Put the pressure on these so-called educators. Put the pressure on these so-called administrators. Because I just jumped out the paint. We just had a high school senior come out, but I didn't miss a parent-teacher conference. Oh no, I didn't miss a parent-teacher conference. I didn't miss a capsule night, curriculum night, any type of event. I made sure my presence was known and felt. But there's too many empty chairs out here. We got too many empty chairs out here. And y'all already know where I'm at with the daddies. Look, Pops, if you're gonna be out here at the junior football practices, get your ass to the junior parent-teacher conferences. If you're gonna be out here with the AAU kids, get your ass to the AAU parent-teacher conferences. Act like you interested, bruh. Act like you interested. Don't worry about sending your kid to school with some new Jordans when he can't spell it, motherfucker. And to the mamas, a lot of y'all doing yeoman's work out here. I get it. A lot of single mothers out here. A lot of single mothers out here. Too many single mothers out here without that co-parenting dynamic. Because I'm not saying I wasn't a single. I was a single parent. I was a single parent, but I met my daughter's mothers to the conferences. Well, one of them. One didn't bother, but that's okay. Because I was good enough for both. But I get it. Y'all out here on your own. Don't worry about that. Make sure you get to the conference. Make sure you get to the conference and make sure you applying that pressure. And if you feel like the dynamic is shifted to the point where they're not respecting you, bring your daddy, bring your uncle, bring your brother, bring anybody to the parent-teacher conference with you. Sometimes you need that dynamic. You know, sometimes they try to overlook the single mamas. I get it. I see what they do. They try to overlook the single mamas. They discount y'all. But when that man sits down with you, now they got to pay attention a little bit more. When that man, yeah, they pay attention. And we don't even have to say anything. We just got to be there. We just got to be there. So I hit 65 minutes. Didn't even mean to get to an hour, but I did. And we here. And we're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep doing what we do. But we got to do better. We got to do more. Because I'm telling you right now, the deck is stacked against us. It's stacked against us, y'all. Oh, yeah. And I don't like the fact that the deck is stacked against us, but it is what it is. But we need to shuffle the deck. It's time to actually shuffle the deck. So I didn't mention that fourth thumb in there. Shout out to Fannie Willis. I know she's taking a lot of heat. She said she's been called nigger more times dealing with this Donald Trump stuff than she's ever been called nigger. And she gonna be called nigger more times than she'll ever be called nigger dealing with this Donald Trump thing. A lot of people didn't like what she did with the YSL thing. I felt indifferent about it, you know. No, I don't believe somebody should be prosecuted solely about their intellectual property, their music, their lyrics. But goddamn it, if you out here killing people and you're rapping about it, who the fool? You the fool. So you need to go to jail. You know, I'm never gonna laud killing, stealing, robbing, raping, pillaging. I'm never gonna laud that. And if you dumb enough to put it on record and make money off of it, yeah, your ass probably gonna see the magistrate in the morning. But this whole thing with Donald Trump, this has got a whole different dynamic to it. This has got a whole different dynamic to it. Because she done came with the RICO. Oh yeah, she done came with the RICO on Donald Trump. And where some of these charges and some of these other cases might not stick, something tells me somebody gonna flip on Donald. When you start talking about them RICO years, you start talking about forever. And I know he ain't built for no prison life, and ain't nobody else he dealing with built for no prison life. So, in the spirit of my brothers, from the dirty, from the village of Stankonia, me and you, your mama and your cousins too, rolling down the strip on Vogues. Fanny's about to indict all you hoes. Peace.
You know, this revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word, right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a bird, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you.
Your ass is next.
Did you say nigga?
dead body?
I know that ain't who I think it is. Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this. Look at this.